Welcome to the Content Amplified podcast, brought to you by Masset. Our goal is to help you get more from your marketing content. Each episode is a 10 to 15 minute interview with industry experts that share amazing insights to help you squeeze as much juice from your content as you possibly can. Here's today's interview.
Welcome back to another episode of Content Amplified. Today I'm joined by Melinda. Melinda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Melinda, I am really excited for this conversation. It's a subject that I think everyone's going to really love and really can use in their business. And recently I've been doing some studies on hooks and trying to improve this own podcast with them. So rather than making it a cliffhanger, today we're going to talk about gamification in marketing. And a lot of people struggle with this. But before we dive into gamification, Melinda, let's get to know you. So tell us a little bit about your background. And then on top of that, what do you love about content and marketing?
So my name is Melinda Parton. I'm the Director of Marketing Strategy and Enablement at the Channel Company. And I've been working in the B2B technology sector for 20 plus years, primarily focused on digital and experiential marketing. I've worked at Microsoft, at advertising agencies, including one I co-founded and grew for 10 years, consultancies, and then took a detour into healthcare marketing at UW Medicine, where I modernized their marketing department, and now back in tech marketing at the Channel Company. In my current role, I work with brands like Microsoft, AWS, HPE, and Intel on go-to-market and sales enablement strategies. And one of those strategies that we use, or tactics, is gamification to drive seller and partner education and performance. And we've seen a lot of success with our gamification efforts. And in one case, for a client, their gamification program generated tens of millions of dollars in pipeline and converted half of that into closed revenue from almost 1,000 registered network service provider sellers. Yeah, and great feedback from both the partners and the channel sales teams that worked for the client. The program just has been way more successful than they had hoped it would be, and want the games to keep coming.
I love it. So let's dive into it. So first and foremost, as a marketer, what is gamification for anyone not familiar with it? And how does it make an impact or possibly a difference for a business? You know, it's kind of a broad category. You know, let's start from there, from the very top.
Yeah. So gamification is essentially taking content. Could be, could be seller guides, could be battle cards, could be product information, service information that's often presented in a dry informational way, and creating a game out of it. And so giving people points, badges, showing leaderboards, doing challenges. Some of the games we've developed are match games. And so there's different features on a product, for example, and the person learning about them uses a match game or a driving game to kind of work through the content and answer questions about it. And then showing the competition between the different participants, so that creates a healthy competition as people learn and they can see the results on the leaderboard. And so the idea is to tap into people's natural desires for competition, achievement, and recognition, and helps them interact more deeply with products, services, or even internal processes. And so ultimately it's about having fun. It's making, sometimes dry content fun, and creating, a deeper sense of engagement and competition amongst those learning about it.
I love it. So it sounds awesome. I 100% can see so many use cases for something like this. But my mind also wanders towards, how do I even get started? Like tools and platforms, resources necessary. I think everyone immediately will resonate with the concept, but I think there's a little intimidation to say, how do I even do this? How do I make this function? You talk about leaderboards. It sounds like technology and investments. And how do I get started? Like, what can I do here?
So getting started with gamification, the first thing to pay attention to is what your goal is. So what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to increase employee engagement, improve seller effectiveness, improve customer retention, enhance training outcomes? There's a whole host of use cases that have specific goals. that you can apply specific goals to. And then once you have the goal defined, is really understanding your audience and what will resonate with them, just as with any campaign or any sort of communication or messaging program. And once you understand, you have your goal, you understand your audience, then being able to tailor your strategy to their preferences and behaviors will make it much more effective. And so the next step is to develop engaging concept and content. If your content isn't good or doesn't make sense, then the gamification won't save it. So, again, gamification is just a tactic. And so the strategy, approach, and content are the biggest predictors of success. And so just as with anything, you can't take unengaging concepts or content and make it engaging by using gamification. And so some of the things that cause gamification to fail are inadequate application and engagement. So 70% of projects can fail due to that. And then poor planning and design has led to 80% of workplace gamification projects failing. Starting small is key, beginning with simple elements like a point system or a leaderboard, and then gradually introducing more complex features. Testing and iterating as you go through the process of developing your gamification program.
I love it. What I think is so cool is gamification is not the strategy. It is the tactic for helping you achieve your strategy, such as adoption of understanding, onboarding training, whatever it may be. I love that you're using that and clarifying that it's a tactic. So let's say that I have this really cool strategy in place, and one of the tactics to accomplish that strategy is implementing gamification. How do I promote that? How do I actually get people to get involved and utilize the gamification?
So as with anything that's competing for people's valuable and fragmented attention and time, promotion is definitely key to getting traction. First, from your internal stakeholders, you've got to find those champions internally that will be the early adopters or the cheerleaders to get either internal colleagues or partners or whoever the intended targets are involved, making sure that they understand the benefits and can make that commitment to making it work. And so the second part is clear communication. So it's not a, if you build it, they'll come scenario, but making sure you have a cadence of communications that go out internally and externally, outlining the rules, rewards, and objectives up front, so that people know what to expect, know what they're getting, know what they're going to get out of it, and not just telling them what, continuing with a cadence of communications to drive them to the experience. Another aspect is keeping things fresh. So doing regular updates, new challenges, new rewards, new games to maintain that interest and engagement, and also celebrating achievements publicly. So on the leaderboard, as well as in your communications to leaders within the company or other areas that or other avenues of recognition, and also designing a rewards program that's meaningful to your audience. And so it could be recognition, it could be tangible prizes, career advancement opportunities, lunches with executives. There's often restrictions around monetary rewards, but there are other types of rewards that can be brought into play that are meaningful. But that goes back to understanding your audience and what they care about when designing that reward system. And so for our clients, we often develop the communication strategies and assets that promote the gaming platform, including both the to-partner and to-client stakeholder communications and promotions. Reporting and executive updates is generally a key component of that. Kickoff videos, excitement, building excitement, and then ongoing optimization based on partner and stakeholder feedback and behaviors, and incorporating that into the program to continually improve it. And I think just remembering that gamification is an excuse to have some fun. And so if you have a really cool theme for your game program, bring that theme throughout all of the communications. And so make everything about it fun.
I love it. And it was so funny because you were talking about rewards and you talked about, hey, there might be restrictions for monetary rewards. It's amazing what pride and just a leaderboard can do for people. just the ability to say, I'm ahead of you, and that natural competition inside of people. So I think that's cool, and really using that leaderboard and that competition to have this virtuous cycle of self-promotion as people are naturally, publicizing the fact that they're at the top of the leaderboard, and others saying, well, I'm going to get to the top as well. And it's cool because it naturally promotes itself. It's this virtuous cycle. I think that's so cool. So with that, one of my favorite things about this podcast is like tactical examples. Any cool ideas of like just to get the wheels turning for people when it comes to gamification?
Yeah. So partner engagement is a huge one. And some of our clients have used it to help with MDF funding decisions. So looking at which partners are more engaged and using that engagement to make investment decisions in particular partners. You can also use it as a sales competition. So creating that monthly leaderboard for your sales team where top performers win prizes or special recognitions. So, motivating them in a competitive, but in a healthy way. A sales enablement training either internal sales teams or partners on products and services, enabling them to do more deals. That's one of the programs. The one I mentioned earlier was where we had the huge success in both pipeline and closed revenue, as well as seller registrations. They can, see how they're doing also against other sellers within their own company. Customer loyalty programs, point systems for customers that earning rewards for making purchases, referring friends, or engaging with your brand on social media. So it helps, keeps them coming back and turns them into advocates for your brand. Gamification can also be a useful tool in employee training so that employees can earn badges or certifications as they complete different levels. And again, also seeing how they're progressing in their learning journeys against other employees. Another one, community engagement. So a gamified community platform where users can earn points or badges for participating in discussions, helping others, or sharing content. We have communities here at the channel company. One is called Women of the Channel, and they have different gift cards for people who participate, so they can attend workshops and webinars, participate in the community boards, and every interaction counts towards that leaderboard with the community. And so it really inspires you to go in and interact with others on Women of the Channel. And then another one is product launches. So offering rewards for early adopters or those that help spread the word can help drive initial interest, and also build momentum for the product launch. So those are just a few ideas.
There's a ton, and there's so much to unpack there, so many opportunities. And these episodes go by quick, and we're already to the end of the episode. I have learned a ton. I think gamification can fit into so many different aspects like you just shared. I think it's amazing. Melinda, if anyone has any questions or wants to reach out and further the conversation with you, how can they find you online?
So they can find me online on LinkedIn, and my email address is mparton@thechannelcompany.com.
Perfect. Well, Melinda, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ben.
Thank you for listening to the Content Amplified podcast. Please subscribe and leave us a review. And for additional ways to get more out of your content, visit our website at getmasset.com. That's getmasset.com. And tune in next time to the Content Amplified podcast.